welcome to this this first review of the Gotham series. This is for the newest episode of Gotham, which was episode 11, which was last night, so I do apologize for the obvious late upload, but I also had to do Supernatural as well. But we are going to go over They Did What review. This for the final present day episode. Right off the bat, before I get into the actual review and all that stuff, it was, I think you could say it was fantastic. That, to me, I think is the best way to describe it. So, this is going to be your Gotham Season 5, Episode 11, They Did What episode review. Let's just go ahead and let's get into it. And welcome in Yo Bro Nation and Yo Bro Podcast Network fans. Welcome back to the channel for your Gotham Season 5 Episode 11 review. Episode entitled They Did excuse me, They Did What? I got this weird cough. It's just literally has come out of nowhere. Yeah. So yeah, last night's episode. Come on. Last night's episode was just pure, just really good. I loved last night's episode. A lot happened in this episode. I'm going to go over the episode, talk about little tidbits here or there, just to give you guys my overall opinion of the episode. Yes, spoilers are ahead. If you've not watched the episode, obviously, you're not going to want to stick around here. You're not going to want to continue to listen to this podcast, as like I said, I am going to get into spoiler territory in this episode. Of course, this is the final episode before the 10-year time jump, which is next week. That episode, I will be reviewing that, but that won't be until the next day, maybe even Saturday for next week's episode, as I am seeing Avengers Infinity War next Thursday night, so I won't be watching the episode till probably the next morning, as well as Supernatural. So yeah, it's gonna be a busy weekend. Next weekend, you guys can actually go to the other channel and you'll see my Avengers Infinity War review that will be up next week. Don't be alarmed if in the middle of this you end up kind of just seeing a few ads here or there. Like I said, don't be alarmed. They're just simple little ads that I'll be doing throughout the videos. So yeah, just be wary, I suppose. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get into this episode, right? Because this was a very well done episode. Like I said, a lot went into this, but it was from the outset just action heavy. This was an action heavy episode. The basis of this episode is Eduardo. I'm obviously not able of talking and stuff, but Eduardo, as we saw in the first episode of them, protecting the GCPD, the Green Zone, shooting at them, which obviously you can see it was daytime in this one, but it was nighttime in that episode, the first episode. But you see them in this, and that's it. Them just trying to stand their grounds. Nyssa has, little baby Gordon, Barbara, that's happening. We're seeing the progression of Bruce making his decision to leave based upon everything that's happened this season, which I can't wait to actually get into this and actually get to go back and, review the entirety of the season here in a couple of months when I go back and I review all 5 seasons. because that's what I plan on doing. I plan on going back and reviewing episodes 1, or season 1, season 2, season 3 in its entirety. It's not per episode, but in their entireties. Then getting to obviously redo 5. But anyways, not trying to get off track here. Man, I really liked this episode. And so you see that, you see the blowing of Wayne Tower. You really, this episode, basically, it's not like a big story's happening. It's just the culmination of all the storylines we've seen throughout the season and leading up to Bruce's decision to leave. That was the thing that we wanted to see. Plus that teaser trailer afterwards. That's just like my initial thoughts. Okay, when I really think, because I have no notes in front of me. I took no notes last night because I just wanted to really just enjoy the episode for what it was, and then I could obviously go from there, memorize enough, because yes, I'll be doing spoilers, but I would encourage anyone who's not a Gotham fan, go and watch this episode. It really felt like a Batman storyline to me. It felt like a Batman storyline. It's, to me, you've seen a lot of what Bruce has been doing this season that's very Batman-esque, but in this episode, he felt more like a Batman character than I think he has at any other point in this entire series. I think this was the episode where I really was just like, well, damn, he really does feel like he's Batman, or gonna be Batman, and I think I can honestly say I appreciated that. So, what in the world was that? I don't know what just happened there. So, it is what it is. But this was a very well done episode, and I think I really did enjoy it. Ladies and gentlemen of the Yo Bro Nation, go check it out. Yo Bro Nation on Patreon at patreon.com/Yo Bro Nation. You'll have 6 tiers to choose from. You can get the $1 tier, group chats in the Discord, ask us anything, Q&As, behind the scenes vlogs. You got the $3 tier, Yo Bro Nation early access, AEW reviews, Monday morning creative. You got the $5 tier where you get early access to the Retro Rewind reviews, best of the best countdown early access, post-show videos. There's more though. $10 tier, vote on your Retro Rewinds, get gifts for your birthdays, free merch of your choosing off of our TeePublic store site, Retro Rewind viewing reactions, classic Raw reviews. Then at the $20 and $30 tiers, co-executive producer credits on all shows, producer credits on all shows. Be a part of the creative process. You get to help us decide what's going on with the channel. You get to be a part of the moderation system in the Discord group. Join us now on patreon.com/Yo Bro Nation. We hope you become a Patreon. So, the episode pretty much began with, them trying to formulate their plan on what they can do, because they know that, obviously, this army is coming, so they're like, okay, well, we got to figure out a way to stop this army. So they know that they got to get to the general, and that they got to, destroy that thing in his chip, the chip in his head, to really get him to, stand the army down. And it's really just trying to keep Bane from getting that army in there. And we actually see that, the ramifications of that, where Bane actually kills that sergeant or that captain or whatever he was, for not obeying. So now this army's pretty much just like, yeah, we're gonna follow Bane. So, Gordon he's all worked up. He's like, I gotta get to the kids, and, I gotta go find them. I'm gonna go to the Sirens to get them. And Harvey's just like, look, dude, they're looking for a leader. You're the guy. You need to stay here. So Selena, obviously, she's like, yeah, I'll go check. Obviously, she's not going to find them there, as we already know Nyssa already took them. For whatever reason, she let Lee go. She didn't keep Lee. Honestly, I think I missed the part where Lee just kind of popped back up. But ultimately, Gordon finds out that, hey, they're not there, and he's like, oh gosh, I gotta go. But by this point, we've already seen them trying to stop them, and they've gotten through the wall. They're on their way. They're they're on the verge of being like just swallowed whole. And Bruce is just, you see Bruce with all this tech, working with Lucius. Lucius is like, look, I got all this stuff, and he brings up this little thing that you put it on any vehicle or anything, it will basically make you invisible, but it attracts certain winged creatures. Is where it's going to ultimately lead to the Bat moment. We get to see Bruce standing with Alfred, feeling guilty, and Selina just being like, look, Bruce, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, Bruce. Because, we assumed his back was broke, but by the end of the episode, Alfred is standing on his own 2 feet, so I'm guessing if it was broke, it was a very minor break. But he sure did get effed up. He got effed up by Bane in the previous episode. And it's funny, I almost forgot that in the last episode, freaking Gotham was blown up. I was like, oh yeah, that was that last episode. Holy shit. I almost forgot. It's been, 4 weeks since the last episode. So it's like, well, damn. So you're seeing the fallout of that. You're seeing, people who tried to survive. And then you end up seeing Bruce just drop Wayne Tower on top of soldiers, obviously killing some soldiers. I mean, were people going to survive? Just to slow them down. Nyssa talking about how same thing, you see Nyssa. Okay, I'm trying to formulate words here. You see Nyssa talking to Barbara, telling Barbara, hey, I'm going to take this baby and I'm going to raise her as my own. And I'm going to kill everyone in Gotham and then I'll kill you. Pretty much the same thing she said to Bruce. And Bane is looking for Bruce. We're going to get to see that. We see that in this episode. Bruce and Selina fighting. And I know a lot of people were just kind of like, I know I'm all over the place. A lot happened in this episode. And I gave you my overall opinion. Now I'm just kind of going little, beat by beat what happened in the episode. But, Nyssa having Barbara going over, we already heard her say this to Bruce. I mean, I guess, yeah, Barbara was the main reason that Ra's al Ghul is dead. So, it makes sense that she'd want to do something to Barbara. And then to say she's going to take the baby. As a parent, I'd be pissed. I'd be pretty mad if someone's like, I'm going to take your child and I'm going to raise him as my own. Ultimately, they fail at keeping the soldiers at bay because, the general's not there, so there's nothing they can do at that point. Then Gordon's like, look, I got to go. I got to get them. So he's like, I'm going to go find them and get them back. Get Lee or get Barbara and the baby back. He's telling Lee just stay back, and then during all this you see Penguin's eye basically get exploded up. Exploded up. That's not even a word. His eyes exploded. So much happened. Like I said, I didn't take notes. I just wanted to enjoy the episode, so I'm just going off memory. So if it's not in order, I'm sorry. I have a shitty memory, and I think I'm doing pretty okay considering. Man, I just like I said, I enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed what happened. We see, well, why does Cobblepot have to wear that monocle on his eye? Well, I guess his vision got messed up, so he had to wear it. Hey, it makes sense in a reality. It's not just because I'm the villain. If you could see me, I'm actually making motions with my hands. But yeah, that happens. You see the Edward just being like, well, I guess I should stay. This sub takes 2 people to drive anyways, but somehow Nyssa gets away. It takes 2 people, but Nyssa left. Edward comes back. That was a nice little moment. Seeing Bruce and Selina really working together, like, you really see they're finally going to be like a relationship type couple. I feel like that's where they reached at this point in the series, is they really basically are going to be a couple, but it isn't going to happen because of obvious reasons with what Bruce is going to do later in the episode. But him to talk about, this is some of my fondest memories, was sitting down here with Alfred, waiting for my parents to come down them escalators, but my family would do anything to protect the city, and so will I. And then he takes that bomb that was Jeremiah's to blow up Wayne Tower. I liked it. I liked the sentiments. Davi Mazouz was really good in that scene. He did really well delivering the line. I've heard people say he's not that great. I think he's really good. He's playing up what Bruce Wayne would be like at this point when essentially everything that's happening with the city is being blamed on you. Welcome, Yo Bro Nation, ladies and gentlemen. Come join us on the main channel, the mother channel, the flagship channel. Yo Bro Nation on YouTube.com. You guys can come and join us and see reviews such as the Raw review, the SmackDown Live reviews, the NXT review, the reviews, NXT TakeOver reviews, all sorts of reviews, WrestleMania reviews, reactions to the trade. We also got movie news with the Yo Bro Nation podcast, which is also going to be available here in audio on the Yo Bro Podcast Network. Also on the Yo Bro Podcast Network, and you can also see in a video form. You guys can see the Squared Circle Podcast, which has just recently returned. You can also get Best of the Best Countdown. We count down the top 10. Whatever it is that we want to talk about, we count those down. Like classic reviews, classic paper reviews, we've got those as well with the classic retro rewind reviews, the classic WCW, ECW, WCW, TNA, WWF. We do those as well. We also do retro movie reviews. All this stuff, so much more, right here on the Yo Bro Nation YouTube channel. Thank you. So we get the scene with Jim Gordon going and facing Nyssa. A scene that I was kind of just like, all right, how exactly is this going to... Oh, hold on. I completely forgot. Now, before Bruce left, he had this little speech with Alfred before Bruce went to the tower. And, Alfred talked about how, he thought it was his job to protect Bruce, but, Bruce is actually doing this now. It was such a sweet scene between Alfred and Bruce. And I think, as I'm sitting and watching the episode last night, I'm just kind of thinking to myself, man, I can't believe this is the second to last episode. Even listening to, Cobblepot and Nigma talking, it made me feel like, damn, I'm really gonna miss the show. Like, I honestly, for the first time this season, was just like, shit, this is really happening. This show's really ending, and I get one episode next week, and it's gonna be a 10-year ton. Man, it's gonna stink. But yeah, the scene with Bruce and Alfred was so sweet. But anyways, a lot of people were wondering how Jim was going to be able to defeat Nyssa. Obviously, he gets Barbara free. A fight ensues. They get the better of her because of Barbara's distraction, to where Barbara actually is able to stab her with the knife that killed Ra's al Ghul. And she doesn't die, though. It killed her father, but she doesn't die. She gets away. She manages to escape and says, "General, institute backup plan." And dude blows his freaking brains out. Okay, well now what do we do? The general's dead. That chip never, whether it works or not now, he's got no brain matter to say anything. So my immediate thought was like, well, fuck. How are they going to do it now? How are they going to get free of this? What could they possibly do at this point that they will be able to just, well, to do anything? How are they going to stop Bane and his people? So we see the fight with Bruce and Selina and Bane, and Bane's clearly just, he's got the upper hand. But Bruce, you see that first slight, Bruce knows he's outmatched. So he uses his environment to his advantage. allowing Selina, when she gets, her little knife out of her pocket, stabs Bane in the side. He gets that little transmitter stuck into the back of Bane's neck, or into the back of his suit, allowing for the bats to attack him, for them to get away. That's your first sign of the genius of what Batman is, how he uses his tools to his disposal, when he's outmatched. So Bruce, who's just, 18 at this point, clearly not the Dark Knight yet, but you see that little bit of what the Dark Knight will be later on as we know it. So I love that, because it's, what's Bruce gonna do to get away from him? Obviously he can't outfight him. That's just, the guy's gonna break his back in 15 years from now. So, but we see him, basically outsmart him and use that. But it obviously doesn't kill Bane. Because we get to the end of this, we see that scene with Bruce and Alfred. I'm sorry, that was later on. It wasn't before all this. But we see that scene with Bruce and Alfred where he's talking and it's sweet. We see all of them come down. We see Penguin. We see Riddler. Cobblepot, Enigma. We see Harvey. Everyone who's there all come out together. Jim sends all of the people from the gallows out to be free, and he's like telling Lee, I want you to go with them, take Barbara, take the baby, make sure they're safe, just get everyone to safety, we'll hold them off and give you time. But Lee comes back, Barbara and all those people come back, and all of a sudden these guys who've been doing what they could to get in there and surrounding them are all of a sudden like, yeah, you know what, maybe we don't want to kill these people. So they turn on him. They turn on Bane and his people, and they surrender. Woo! Everyone's safe. No Man's Land is over with. Everyone's get to go home happy. So they just kind of really fly through stuff after this point. Everyone's happy, except for, obviously, Bruce, who, even when he's having that moment with Selina, you can see on his face, he already knows what he's going to do, and he's not telling Selina. And she's just so happy. She's cozying up to Bruce, which is all he's wanted for 5 seasons, is for Selina just like him. And he's really got that. And she just kind of like, he's all like, I like you, but I got to leave, girl. Sorry. So, you see you see Jim made commissioner. Bruce tells him, hey, I'm leaving. He says, all right, well, Gotham's always going to be your home. But at this point, Bruce is not telling anyone he's going to come back. I don't even think at this point Bruce knows exactly what he's going to do. He just knows, I got to leave and find a way to protect Gotham. So we see that. We see Barbara in the most anticlimactic way. This is probably my biggest gripe of the episode, because I don't really have many. I don't have hardly any at all. But this one, I was just like, meh. For them to name the baby Barbara Lee Gordon, I was like, okay, well, maybe someone dies. I've heard a lot of people say that. But then they see the promotional photos where when everyone's getting their awards, you see Lee and Barbara are both there. She's like, we should name her Barbara. And he's like, oh. She's like, Barbara Lee Gordon. Because in this city, she needs to know who the 3 people are that she can depend on the most. And that, in a sense, makes plenty of sense. As the mother, like, I want her to know by her name, these are the people she can rely on to help her through life. And I'm like, okay, I suppose that makes sense. But it still isn't, to me, exactly a huge deal. It's not something I'm just going to be like, well, yeah, that was great. That was a great way of playing it. No, I needed some sort of stakes. No main character died in this episode. I think this is your last episode before the time jump. Basically, this is the series finale. To me, this is the actual series finale. Bruce leaving. Next episode, which is the series finale, to me is just like a tacked on bonus episode. This to me felt like the actual series finale. But we see, Cobblepot, we see Enigma in the mansion again, just complaining about how no one's going to like them, and Enigma's just kind of like, you know what I felt when I was there standing shoulder to shoulder with them? Nothing. I felt nothing. We are no longer going to be common criminals. They even pulled knives on each other when they hug it out to say that they're going to work together to take over the city. But they ultimately just agree to work with one another. That's cool because I like those guys as a duo. Have ever since Nigma finally snapped. It's worked great. These guys are great together. You get to see Selena read the note and rush to the airport, where you get another scene with Bruce and Alfred. With Alfred being like, sir, I never had a kid of my own, but you basically say, you're my boy, and I'll be here when you're ready to come home, rebuilding your empire for you. I just, I don't have the exact words in front of me. It was a sweet scene. Again, I love the chemistry that you get with Bruce and Alfred, with David Masluz and the gentleman who plays Alfred, which I'm so sorry I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but this, like I said, this felt like the series finale to me, and I think that was the intentions, because the story is, we know it has come to an end. We have seen the story in its entirety that they could do with this 5th season of only, the 11 episodes that we got. Like I said, for me, though, the next episode, seeing Batman, I think will feel more like a pilot to a new series. It's just a bonus episode of Gotham. It's not really a series finale. I know they're gonna. I think they're gonna show some of David Masluz out training. I think they're gonna show some of that in the episode at the beginning, maybe in like a vignette, just a little clip here or there, and then they'll jump 10 years forward, and you'll actually see the return. I don't think you'll actually see the return of Bruce Wayne, but you'll see, the ramifications of Bruce's return. Thus, Batman. No Jim Gordon with the mustache. I don't think we're getting that. Maybe at the end of the episode, if we're lucky, when he finally sets up, that beam, the spotlight for Batman. Maybe we'll see him there on that rooftop with the mustache. You'll see Gordon with the stash. I mean, we're getting Commissioner Gordon 10 years in. I know something happens where Harvey's been framed for something, and just I know I'm jumping into the trailer now because I'm pretty much, the episode, I've told you all I can say about the episode. The episode was fantastic, and I can't wait for next week's episode. It sucks that I get to watch it the next day, so I got to avoid being online for a night until I can watch it the next morning and actually get to review it myself. But it was a good episode. It was a fantastic episode. To me, again, it felt like the series finale. That was the sense I got. Like, this is a good close-up to the series, but we do have one more episode. I think we're going to get more Batman than we anticipated. I don't think we're going to see, our Bruce Wayne as the Batman. I don't think we're going to see Bruce because, obviously, he's supposed to come back bigger, stronger, more muscled up. There's no way, unless they try to digitally impose David Masluz onto another person. I don't think we'll see that. Maybe, I know they said there are going to be some close-up shots of him where you'll see his face under the cape and cowl, a lot like they did with Smallville, which plug, I will be doing Smallville shortly, but just this episode was phenomenal. I loved this episode, and I think this was a fantastic wrap up to what was the story that we've been following for the last 5 years. It was. I just wish I'd come to this party sooner and actually got to go through this journey with everyone up to this final episode next week. But I'm glad. I'm glad that I started watching it this past summer. I got hooked. I love this story. I know a lot of people hate on it. Well, it's starting to be Batman, but it's not really Batman. I don't need it to be Batman. I know it went from being, Jim Gordon's show to being about Bruce, but that to me makes sense. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't you think that? Even if they did get a 6th or a 7th season, don't you think it would eventually turn into Bruce Wayne's story? Even if they went with this storyline in the next 2 seasons, there was no Bruce Wayne. And eventually, they did the time jump. To me, that makes sense. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm alone in my thoughts. But next week, looks like it's going to be an awesome episode. I got one show ending their season to go into their final season. I got a couple more episodes of Arrow this year, and then they're going into their final 10-episode run next year. Man, I don't know what I'm going to watch on TV. Game of Thrones is ending. So much is ending. But just, man, that trailer for next week looks amazing. Just to come back around. Next week's episode looks good. Harvey's being... I'm pretty sure that's what, plot was supposed to be, is Harvey is, being framed for something. And just to listen to you get to hear that laugh from Jeremiah. Don't say his name. Was it Jeremiah Velasquez? Oh my gosh, they looked intense. Barbara with the long orange hair all of a sudden. Alright. Next week just looks good. I think we're going to get more Batman. We got to hear Davi Masus's Batman growl. I'm not your enemy. Like, it starts off with that, and you can hear Davi's voice in the background of it. You can hear his voice come through. Good for him. He at least gets to voice Batman. So he's being Batman, but not actually being Batman, which I'm cool with. But that's it. I'm done. I'm done rambling. I've been going for a half hour. Like I said, this was your review. This was your Gotham Season 5, Episode 11. They did what? Review? Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this with me. More content to come. Like I said, Supernatural review up today. There's one from last week. I did miss last week's episode. I apologize, but there's one from a couple weeks ago. You guys can go check all that stuff out. Thank you guys again. I was Zach, and this was your Gotham Season 5, Episode 11 review. I was going to say, yeah. Anyways, peace out, and have a good day, you guys.